Hello to YouTube. There are two questions that I often get. And I know the answer that people want, and I know that the answer that I give is not the one they want. The first question I often get is how many times a day or slash basically, how long does it take you to do a workout? And I know that at that time, people expect me to say, I work out about, 2 to 3 hours, and then I have 2 of these workouts every single day. Because somehow people expect me to work out more than what I do, so that when they hear the amount of time that I work out, it's like, oh my God, so this is why I can't do it. This is unattainable if I only work out X amount of time. So this is the first question that most people ask me in terms of how many times I work out and how long it takes me for each individual workout. The other question that I often get is how long have you been doing this? So here again, the most anticipated answer is that I've been doing that for 3 years. And people will be like, okay, so 3 years. If I buckle down here, I'll be fine. And this is what I can achieve in 3 years. And maybe it is, honestly, maybe you can achieve this and much more in 3 years. But for me, it took me 18 to do that. The bulk of what I did took me just a couple of years to do it. And then it was maintenance level for most of it. But nonetheless, I've been working out for 18 years. The point I want to talk about is calories recovery working out. Currently, I'm trying to lean down. So currently, I'm eating about 22 to 2,300 calories a day. I work out 1 hour. Let me just come here. Hi. 1 hour a day. The rest, what I do with the rest is I walk my dog. I walk about 10 to 12,000, sometimes 14,000 steps a day. And that's pretty much it. And at 2,200 calories, I'm able to lose weight consistently. And then when I want to bulk, I do the exact same thing. I work out for about an hour. I fine tune my workout. I do different stuff, but I still walk my 10, 12, 14,000 steps a day. And then I adjust my calories and I bulk. And often things that happen is there's a couple of things that happen. We always think that we need to do more and always more. I need to, if I work out 45 minutes a day and I don't see results, let me add a run. If now I work out an hour and I run, maybe I need to walk more. And now that I do all of this, maybe I need a second workout. And maybe I'm gonna, and then you spin. You spin because you don't give your body the time to recover. Or more classic one, if I work out 3 times a week, I need to work out 6. That's a more classic one. Maybe not. Maybe you need more sleep. Maybe you need to fine tune your recovery. Maybe you need to look at your calories. One thing that happens a lot is I have a client or a couple of clients in the past that were already working out 4, 5, 6 times a week. And then they were like, I guess that if I want results now, how often should I work out? Should I do it like twice a day? Like, what do you mean? No, you're just gonna create more problem. You're just gonna create less recovery for your body, and you're just going to inhibit a bunch of stuff as you do that. And when I say inhibit, I mean muscle growth. It's not going to happen. You're putting so much stress on your body day in and day out, and you never give time to recover from it. And then you're putting another stress and another stress and another stress that it's not going to work. And then you're going to come to me and I'll tell you, well, chill the fuck out. Sorry. I'll be like, let's chill. Let's, take a step back. You work out 14 times a week. No. So one of my points for this video is that one thing that we often hear is eat less, move more. And sometimes, I want to be very picky on that, sometimes this is the trick. Sometimes. Because sometimes you get someone who's not working out at all, who's not doing anything, and who's eating so many crap that they eat like 3,500, 4,000 calories a day. These type of people. When you get that person, it's a very simple process. Eat less than that 4,000 will get you to 2,500. Increase protein because you eat a bunch of crap. Increase protein and will have you move 3 to 4 workouts a week with some walks in between all those things. And obviously it's going to work. But these people are kind of rare. Most people will eat 1,500 calories a day, 2,000. The higher I've seen people eat, even regularly, like looking at it, was like 2,500 calories. And then you say, well, eat less and move more. Well, I move already 3 to 4 times a week and I eat 2,000. Let's take that person. Let's say the person who eats 2,000 calories a day, doesn't know that, but still does it, and works out about 4 times a week and remain active for the rest of, the week. And it's like, oh, I don't see the results I want to see. I'm going to cut down on calories. I will give you a second to bet what's going to happen. 1, done. He's not going to have the energy to work out. It's not going to happen. Oh, I'm going to cut down on calories. And then they go to what? Like 1,200 calories, 1,400. I know 125-pound fitness girls who eats almost 3 times that. And then you think that a almost 6 feet tall, 200-pound guy can function on that? No, it's not going to be possible. So now what will happen is that if you eat less and you have a very limited amount of calories, well, your body's just going to want to chill and not do anything because it doesn't have the energy to do much. So it's just going to chill you out. And now you'll feel tired, unmotivated. Everything will be harder. Every lift will be harder. Sleep will be affected. A bunch of stuff will be affected that you're not going to work out more. Most likely, you're going to work out less. So now you went from eating 2,000 calories, working 3 or 4 times a week, to eating 1,400, barely working out. So now you're losing muscle mass, you're losing a bunch of stuff, nothing's happening, and maybe you lost weight, but you lost muscle mass. And also water retention and a bunch of other stuff like that. That the minute you go back to 2,000, it's going to bump back up and you're like, oh my God, I gained 5 pounds in 2 days. No, you gain water. So this is one thing that happens a lot. Now, what I want you to see out of that conversation that I'm having with a camera, now what I want you to see is that you need the right amount of fuel for the exercise you're giving your body. You can, if you want. This is not what I like to do because eating it becomes a full-time job at that point. I could, if I wanted to, work out twice a day, add a run, add my walks, but then it would be all I do. But if I do that, I cannot do that on 2,300 calories. I will have to eat 3,500 calories. So it's good because I eat more, I move twice, so something will happen. Adaptation will come and I will make a massive difference. But just thinking that I can do that on 2,500 calories just by adding more activities, I'm going to injure myself, everything will be harder. Most likely I'm going to go catabolic and I'm just going to start using muscle mass as fuel when I do my second workout of the day. So instead of building muscle, I'm going to burn muscle. If you don't account for the activity in terms of recovery, and I'm talking only about calories because it's the main driver and it's kind of easier to talk about that. But we can talk about sleep as well, right? And the reason why someone who works out 2 or 3 times a day can do that, and you can go back to my less viewed video on SARMs and steroids, but someone who would use something like this could work out more because the body recovers much faster because of what that person takes. Now you need your body to recover. In order to do that, you have a couple of options. Work out less, more efficiently, adjust the calories as needed, sleep more, sleep better, drink more water if you don't drink a lot of water as right now. Make sure that stress is low, and then you're giving yourself a better chance of adding workouts. You cannot take your current status, and I'm taking the most likely cases. You cannot take your current status of I work out 2 times a week, I eat like nonsense, my job is stressful, I don't sleep well, I don't drink water. And then you're like, but my fix is to go more to the gym. No, because then you're just creating an extra added stress to your body that most likely you won't recover from. You could injure yourself. There's a bunch of stuff that could happen. What you need to do is be like, all right, if I do that, I don't have results yet. I want to add more activities because I only work out 2 or 3 times a week. I want to add more activities. Where do I need to look at? Sleep, food, all of that. If you already work out 6 days a week, 6 workouts, you don't need 12. If you want to do 12, be my guest. You can. But if you want to do that, it's not going to happen on 2,500 calories. You will have to eat more. And you will have to take recovery in consideration between those workouts. If I wanted to work out twice a day, I'd do 1 in the morning. I'd have my night of sleep, breakfast, workout, rest. I would do nothing else. Probably, I would eat, most likely have a nap, bunch of water, bunch of carbs, and another workout. And it would not be 100% great workout, most likely. And then after that, I need to do the exact same thing I did before. So food, de-stress, relax, more food, sleep. And then I do that process again. If you can't have a nap and a bunch of food and more food in between workouts, don't do 2 a day. If you've often heard, eat less, move more, take it case by case. Is that you? Are you the person that eats 4,000 calories and don't move? If that's the case, yes, do that. If you are already moving and you hear eat less, move more, you're like, all right, this is what I'm going to do. No, don't start there. Start by looking at, do I at that moment now have sufficient amount of recovery to make sure that my 3 workouts a week plus my walks and everything I do everything is like sufficient for me to create the stimulus and everything to get results from? If the answer is yes, great. You should see results. But if you don't, the answer is no. There's something in the pipeline that's not working. Fix it, see what changes. Now, once you see some changes on those 3-4 workouts, and you say, okay, cool, now something is moving. Awesome. I want to work out 4 times. Now, I want to add 1 more workout. Great, but you need to account for the fact that you might need to eat a little more, and you might need more rest, and you might need to fine-tune the programs and the workouts. There's a lot that comes into play, but make sure that your recovery is as efficient as your workouts. I hope I did not lose you in any of this. It's quite simple, but sometimes it's simple in my head and it goes out and I get lost because it's simple here, but then the process of translation kind of loses some people. I hope you didn't get lost. If you did, send me a message. I'll tell you what to do. Other than that, eat more, move more. That's the process. If you want to move more, you need to eat more. Do that and tell me later how much muscle you've packed on. Have a good day, guys.